The question is the House to know. Agenda. Give the call to the member for Monash.
Mr Speaker, in triumph and tragedy, there's someone who always turns up for regional Australia, and that's the local newspaper. Across towns and regions throughout Australia, the local paper weaves the threads that hold communities together. It shares in the triumphs, grieves in the losses, and tells the stories that truly matter to everyday people. It's where a teenager reads their name in print next to a goal they scored for the first time in the sports pages. Everyday volunteers are celebrated, and the births, deaths and marriages of a town are enlivened with photographs, congratulations and condolences every week. Local news keeps people connected, not just to events, but to one another. There are an array of senior Australian journalists who started in regional media, like Sunrise co-host David Boywood from Win News in Gippsland, and The Age and Sydney Morning Herald's Europe correspondent Rob Harris, who started at the Latrobe Valley Express. In my electorate of Monash, we have the South Gippsland Sentinel Times, the Warragul and Druin Gazette, the Latrobe Valley Express, the Phillip Island Advertiser, the Trafalgar News, the Foster Mirror, the Merbau North Times and the Bass Coast Post. They are locally funded, they are professional journalists, they are important to the community fabric of our region. Above editor Yvette Brand's desk of the Warragul and Druin Gazette hangs a plaque that reads, "A good local newspaper is one of the best public assets that any district can possess." It's a quote by their founding owner and editor, Albert Harvey. The Warragul and Druin Gazette is more than 127 years old. The Latrobe Valley Express is celebrating 60 years this year, and editor Liam Durkin has been running 6 decades in 6 weeks. The South Gippsland Sentinel Times has been going for 51 years. So seriously does editor Michael Giles take the role of the local newspaper, he trekked to Canberra for the maiden speech of my predecessor 25 years ago and came back up again last month for mine. The Phillip Island and San Remo Advertiser newspaper first appeared in 1896 as a title called the San Remo Times and Phillip Island and Bass Valley Advertiser, making its first edition over 128 years ago. Eleanor Mackay is the editor. Regional journalists show up to meetings no one else attends. They ask tough questions. They cover the bushfire alerts and they stay to report the aftermath long after the flames are gone. We've seen some recent threats to local newspapers, from teal donors astroturfing online newsletters to skew readers across to common causes and candidates, through to the move online for the gazetting of government publications. Support has been committed by the federal government, but it's been slow out of the gates in securing the future of regional journalism. The government's own website states, the News Media Assistance Program sets out a framework and measures to support public interest journalism and media diversity in Australia. On the 12th of December 2023, the Department of Infrastructure, Transport, Regional Development, Communications and the Arts opened consultation on the News Media Assistance Program. Submissions closed back in February 2024. The news map design is still awaiting finalisation, and the successful funding applicants are still waiting to hear from the government. The mandated minimum commitment of $3 million per year for 2 years from 2025 to 26 for regional newspaper advertising across the total Commonwealth media advertising spend has gone nowhere. We are now going on over 2 years after the government said it would address this issue. It was back in early March 2024 when Meta announced it would not renew its deal with Country Press Australia and other Australian publishers. The news bargaining incentive is a solution that enjoys broad industry support. Consultation has yet to begin, let alone the draft legislation. I am calling on the government to finalise this process by the end of 2025 to ensure that Meta, TikTok and other platforms join the negotiating table in good faith. Country Press Australia has confirmed that regional and local news industry outlets would strongly oppose any changes to Australia's world-leading copyright laws to allow AI companies to further access and use copyrighted content without permission or payment. There has never been a more important time to support our regional and local publishers. I'm calling on the federal government to get its act together and come good on commitments made which are well past their due date. Thank you.